Ryan Murphy, three-time gold medalist 2 summers ago in Rio. World Championship medalist as well. This week, Ryan has entered in the 100 freestyle, 50, 100, and 200 backstroke. Go ahead and start off with a question to Ryan. Ryan, maybe just kind of walk us through your season to this point, how training has been going with your group there in Berkeley, and what your expectations are for this week and moving forward.
Yeah, the season's been great. So this has been my first full year as a pro. So not tapering in March was something that was different for me, but being able to get a whole year of training under my belt has been, I think, really beneficial. And if my practice performances have been an indicator of what's to come here, then I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be doing well. And if it doesn't show up here, it's going to show up at some point, and I'm excited for that to happen.
Okay, well, to go ahead and take questions, please raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. Coleman.
So yeah, I think you kind of capped off training this season at the OTC a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just kind of tell us how that specific training camp went for you, and kind of what you get out of going up to altitude that far out from nationals?
Yeah, totally. So we went up to OTC. I was only the latter half of June. So we were up there for 2 weeks. I ended up extending it for 3 more days, just because my brother was getting married, so it just made travel a little bit easier. So going up there is great. And at this time, we're not trying to break down our bodies too much anymore. So going up there and just kind of keeping our normal routine is nice. Everything's a little bit harder because there's less oxygen. But coming down, you feel great. And kind of coming off that and going into the easier taper part of our season was super beneficial. And we put in some good work, and I'm excited to see how our guys do.
Hey Ryan, Nick Sicardi with NBC Sports. I want to ask you about 2017 Worlds. You went into it as the sweeping backstrokes at the Olympics, and you got medals but not gold. Did you come out of those Worlds thinking anything different as far as your place among the world's best backstrokers?
I could probably throw out some stats or whatever to try to prove that I am, but I'm not going to go there. And but definitely, I think that was a little bit of a slap in the face. And coming off of the Olympics, I achieved all my lifetime goals. Growing up, I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to win a gold medal, and I wanted to break world record. I did all those 3 in 2016. So going off that, I think it was pretty normal for my motivation to be lower. And you don't even really realize it in the moment. You keep on convincing yourself. You're like, all right, I'm 100% locked in. Like I'm doing everything right. But as I moved through that year and getting into this year, for me, kind of once it hit January 1, 2018, I feel like that's when the flip switched for me. And now it's like, all right, like we're building again. Like we're building towards 2020. And so I feel like my motivation's back now. That was definitely good because I'm hyper competitive. So getting beat in the 100, getting beat in the 200, didn't feel great, and that's motivated me this year, and it's going to continue to motivate me.
Follow up to that, do you have like a reminder you can go to for extra motivation from what happened there, or do you watch the races? Do you have pictures or anything like that you can go to? You want to go to?
No, I've got a great memory though. So, I think it's really like, what I remember is going into the media zone and, having David there, and he feels awkward asking me questions. I remember the look on his face. And so that's something that sticks with me. And then, I can think back to the finish of the 100 back, and like I look up and I see third by my name, and then I remember the exact look on Zhu Jiayu's face when I looked at him. So yeah, those are images that I don't need a physical picture of that I remember.
You made me blush over there. I just wonder, Ryan, what was your reaction yesterday when you heard the news about Ryan Lochte? Will it seem strange to you that he's not here? And how did that sort of revelation make you feel?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big bummer. You know, Lochte's been around for so long, and you know, I'm honestly pretty used to seeing him on deck. So the fact that he's not here is, you know, a huge bummer for the U.S. and for him. But you know, as he said, he's still committed to training towards 2020, and I take him at his word on that. So you know, that's where it matters, and the fact that he will be there. You know, I think that's a great thing for us.
It's a strange kind of situation, isn't it? Because it's not a positive test. It's found guilty of using a drip or whatever. What are your thoughts on that? Is it different in your mind? You see something like that as being very different to someone who took a banned substance, or is it just you broke the rules and you deserve the punishment? How do you see that whole process?
I mean, everyone's operating under the same rules, and I think that having a rule like that, while in this case I don't think it caught a cheater per se, I think in 99% of the cases it would. So you know, I think there's rules like this that we need to have in our sport and in all sports in order to ensure that it's clean.
It was also strange the way it came out. Basically, a social media post. If it hadn't been for that, it probably wouldn't have gotten uncovered at all. Kind of strange situation all around.
Totally. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David.
Since we're on the topic of bans, how'd you guys react, you and anyone else, to news about Madison last week?
Yeah, I mean, I was in shock when I saw the news. You know, it is a huge bummer. You know, as you know, Madison's a friend of mine, so you know, I feel terrible for her. Yeah, I don't know all the details on the situation, so I can't really comment too much further on that. But yeah, I'm definitely hurting for her, and you know, it's really sad to see one of our own go down like that.
You mentioned, I don't know if you want to maybe give this a yes, no, but you mentioned you don't consider Ryan a cheater because of his situation. Would you say that about her based on what you know, or do you not know enough to give an answer?
Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about the situation. I couldn't even name the substance. So yeah, I just got a notification, and that's kind of the extent of my research on that.
Okay, swimming related question now. What are the little things that you've kind of been pinpointing in training that maybe weren't there last year? Like some specific things that have been more of a focus this year than last year?
Well, I think it's just the day in, day out grind. We really stepped up in training this year, so being able to come into practice every day and actually have focus in my stroke. So that's always evolving. I'm constantly trying to get better. So that's different month to month. I would say currently on backstroke, just trying to be smooth through my breakout, have good body position, try to swim straight. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Go to Wayne and then Nick.
Ryan, Wayne Race from ESPN. I'm curious, when you get notifications like this and you see the news in Madison, and you hear about what happened to Ryan, as a member of the team and knowing how people outside the U.S. might look at these two things, how does that make you feel? Do you get angry? Do you understand? Just what are your emotions when you see that happening, even given the circumstances that both of those cases have?
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. In the case of Ryan was always someone I looked up to. I grew up in Jacksonville. He grew up in Daytona. I went to school in Gainesville. So, I saw him all the time growing up. So that guy's an idol for me. So it's really tough to see him go through that. But what I think of is more on the personal side. Like, how does that affect him? How does that affect his wife, his kid? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about there. And then, similar with Madison, I'm good friends with Madison. So, how does that impact her career? Hopefully she continues to stick with the sport. But, I don't know. I don't know if she's going to. So, yeah, I more think about the personal side of those cases.
In the post-Michael Phelps era, given that, what would you say is the most impressive accomplishment? Breaking a world record at the Olympics, sweeping the IMs at the World Championships, or winning 7 gold medals at the World Championships?
Well, I'm not going to try to compare me to Chase, to Caleb there. I think all of us have done great things thus far in our career, but I think what's really cool about all 3 of us is that we're very early in our careers, and the sky's the limit for where we can go. I've never been someone where I want to get competitive across events. I'm competitive enough with the backstrokers that if I tried to move over and see if I'm better than Chase, it would just drive me crazy. But they're both great talents, and super excited to see what they do this summer and going forward to 2020.
So you're swimming backstroke outside here. That obviously makes at least a little bit of a difference, maybe a little less at night. How do you adjust to that, and how do you think it impacts the racing and the times here? Who knows? We'll see. If someone crashes into the lane line, then obviously it affects their time. But if they're swimming perfectly straight, then it doesn't really matter. I know for me, I have to make adjustments in my stroke in order to spot myself in the lane. So I do think it slows me down a little bit, but everyone's dealing with it, so it's an even playing field.